Hello and welcome to Mimi's Sketchbook, and today we're going to be making some sweet little decorative bird's nests. And this is one I made about a year ago, and I've used this all over my house and different times of year, and it's just been a great little decoration to tuck in here and there. I've also made smaller ones like this one, and these are sweet too. And there's all kinds of ideas about where you can use birds' nests on Pinterest. So if you need some inspiration, go there. But let's get going to making these. First of all, we need a container the size of the nest we want to make. And so I have this is just a styrofoam plate bowl, and I'm going to line it with some aluminum foil so it's just easier. It's easier to remove. And the other things I'm going to need for this project is a box here, just a Shayla box from the grocery store. It's nice because this is a messy project and I want to contain all the broken bits and pieces in here. So I have the box. I have some dryer lint. This is dryer lint right from your dryer. And I have a handful of dried leaves. You want them dry. And I also have a nice handful of dried grasses. Now these are from ornamental grass that from my yard, and right now it's March. The snow is melted, and I have a lot of this material around for me to use. So this would be a good time of year for you to make this in the spring or actually in the fall when you do have the supplies around. So I'm going to start. Oh, I also have some just craft glue, and that will bind everything together. So let's get going. And the first thing I'm going to want to do is to line the bowl with a couple of leaves, and that's to keep the nest from attaching to the aluminum foil. So the leaves make a little bit of a barrier. Then I'm going to take a small handful of my grass here, and it's not all that long. You could probably cut it or tear it. I can break it like that with a twist. So here it is, about 5 inches long. And grass grows relatively straight, and I want this to conform to a circle. So I am going to take the grass and just kind of wrap it around my fingers so that it starts to get in that circular habit. And I'm going to lay them in a circle and get some more and do it again so they fall into that circular shape. And I think I'll get some more. And birds, when they're making a nest, they do one little twig at a time. We're using more absorbent grasses. These are absorbent. They glue down with mud, but we are going to glue our grasses together with glue. And what I'm going to do is just squeeze it around, generous amount, And this glue dries clear, and I am going to then take some of lint and just kind of put it in, and the lint is very absorbent, just a little bit here and there, and it's going to act as a binder with that glue. It's something for the glue and the grasses to attach to. So I'm going to put a little more glue on here. And as we work it, we want to keep compressing the grasses into this nest. Okay. And every time I put them in, I'm just going, I should turn this maybe a little bit so they're not all in the same. I want them in the circular, but I don't want them built up all in the same area. So I'm pushing them together. And this grass is porous and it's dry, and it's going to absorb that glue, and it will bond with it. It hardens up and it holds it nice and tight. So I'm not obsessed about getting each one of these laid in here perfectly, but I do want them in sort of a circular pattern. So I'm going to put a little more glue in. And I think this time I'm going to put some leaves in. I'm going to break up some leaves and press them in. Smaller pieces lay down a little bit easier. And what happens is your fingers start to get sticky, and they're going to want to attach to everything. So I'm going to more glue, kind of every layer. You want some more glue here. And I think I'll put some more grasses. I made these a year ago with my grandchildren. And my grandchildren at the time were 3 and 6. And they just had a ball making these because there really wasn't any right or wrong about this. They could just do their thing and have fun. So I'm going to put another layer of the kind of spread it around. It's sticking to me. A little more glue. So we're building layers, and I can't exactly say how many layers there are, but you do want to have enough layers that it has some strength to it. So we made these last year in the spring, and I ended up having so much fun making them that I gave them away as Easter presents, and they looked so nice, positioned and nestled in next to Easter plants, and created a very nice vignette with the plants. And they really were lovely, and they were a lot of fun, and I ended up keeping them around the house all year, and they ended up even in my Christmas tree. So this looks a little bit crazy right now, but it's okay. What I need to do is I can press this down with my hand, or if you're a little squeamish about touching it with your hand, get another piece of aluminum foil and press it in, or get piece of plastic or something, but it's just will all wash off. You just get you're a little tacky. So okay, I think I'm going to put a few more leaves in here, leaf bits. Oops, I think I want to put some glue down first so the leaves have something to stick to. So we have a couple layers of the lint. Let's see. And a couple layers of the leaves. And the leaves are porous also, so they will absorb the glue. Now, some leaves are more porous than others. The maple leaves are a lot more porous than the oaks. You might want to just test it out and see which of your leaves are absorbent, but they absorb pretty well. They're absorbing this already. This is a nice, like a school glue that we're using, and it's a little thinner than a tacky glue, and so it's more absorbent. It's a little more watered down and it's easier to absorb. So that's good. We'll just let it soak up there a little bit. And this is fine, all of this popping out. I can push it down a little bit if it's bothering me, but I'll just show you I can do that. Push it in. It looks helter-skelter now, but it's actually there is some order to it. Okay. And I do want to go in, and every time I push that dryer lint is almost like a little sponge down there. See, it's responding better to the glue now. It's holding on. It's not lifting up so much. If some does lift up, maybe that means it's a little dry spot under there. Give it a shot of glue. And that glue is a nice binder. That will bind it and it will hold. Okay, so there's that. Now I want to add a little extra decorative features to this that a bird might not have. And I've got some of this pretty kind of moss. I really like moss. So I'm just going to add a couple of pieces of it, not a lot, not equally distributed, kind of in random looking, and put a little glue under that. This is moss that I purchased at Joann's, and you can get nice moss at the Dollar Tree also, or Michael's, or any of your craft stores. Spring, I have some dried flowers in the yard, and these are just some little flower heads, some sedum. Now, who knows what a bird will put in their bird's nest. That might be too big. I might want to pull some of that off. But I've seen birds' nests with paper in it, wrappers, that green Easter grass, that kind of cellophane Easter grass. There's all kinds of things that birds put in there. They'll take anything that will work. And I love to collect birds' nests, but you know what? You wouldn't want them in your house. They're fine for outside, but you don't want a bird's nest in your house. They are full of lice. And I can tell you that from firsthand experience. They have lice in them. So you don't want these in your tables. You don't want them near your head, near your food. So here's something else that I have. And these are these sweet little feathers. Now these feathers that feather might be a little too big to go in here. but it kind of makes you think that perhaps one of the feathers fell off the bird. And this is kind of an exotic bird. I want to say it's a quail, but I know that's not right. And I got a great big bag here of these feathers. I don't know how many are in there, maybe hundreds. And on Amazon for, I think, $8. And I've seen them other places too. And they're fun to have for little. Oh, here's this tiny one sticking to me. It looks like it came off a baby bird. That's sweet. So I want these to stick, so I'm going to add a little more glue. And remember, this glue dries clear. So even if it's white now, it won't be when it dries. Okay, that's looking nice. And I also have some hydrangea. And this is a hydrangea. It dries by fall. It just dries. And it is preserved. And so we can take a couple of these. I could sprinkle them in, or I can touch them here to some of the glue. They look, just those little flowers look so pretty. I think I'll put a little glue down. This is like a, I don't know, becoming a flower arrangement or a bird's nest, a bird nest flower arrangement. You can add more or less of whatever you want, but most of this is free. These items that you can use in here. So you want to occasionally press this down, make sure it is compacted here. And you could, if you wanted to, you could set something heavy in here. As long as it doesn't stick to the glue, maybe one of those bags of marbles, or the glass, little glass discs that you put in the bottom of your flower pots. To hold the flowers in, or whatever. You could sit something in there heavy to hold it down. Like this is the little cup that I use to form this little guy here. So something like that, just stick it in there and let it weight it down. You don't have to decorate it with that, but just weight it in there, and it will hold down. Now you're going to have to wait a couple of days for this to dry. If you're impatient, put it near some warm air, like a heat vent, if you have forced air heat. Or if you put it in a oven-proof container, you could put it in the oven, just warm it up and turn off the oven and put it in there, and it would probably dry out very quickly. You don't want it so hot, though. You want to be careful that you don't burn your and brown your flowers and your feathers and your moss. You want those to retain that color. Once it's dry, you can just take this off of your styrofoam, and you can peel it. Comes right off because I have those leaves on the bottom, and you have your sweet little nest. Let's look at this without all the debris behind it. And they really turn out adorable. I really like the addition of the other elements in there. And when it comes to making the eggs, these are called Fab Lab eggs, and I got these at Joann's, and there's 12 in a package. And what I did was I mixed together some light, this is called light primary blue paint, and some white together to create this, you know, what they call robin's egg blue. I liked that color. And then I splattered it with some thinned out brown paint. And what I did was mixed up some brown paint in a container, added water to it, and then used my toothbrush as a like a tool to splatter. And this gets a little messy, so you want to maybe use plastic gloves, but it just washes off your hands. And you just can set it down and go like this with the toothbrush, and it splatters. Practice that. Make sure you're not doing it around anything that you can wouldn't want to be splattered. But that's all you do, and let it dry. And if you don't want to make them yourself, I've seen these on sale already painted at Joann's. So if you want to get them, I've also seen them splattered, and I've seen them done with gold, and they're very pretty. All different kinds of textures. Have fun, enjoy. These can be made big or small. You might make a great big one and put your actual hard-boiled eggs in them. I thought of that earlier, and I think I'm going to do that this year. So have fun, try it out, let me know how you did in the comments below, or take a picture of it. I'd love to see your ideas. If you aren't sure or where to put it once you've done it, look on Pinterest. They have so many ideas of how you can decorate with a bird's nest. I wouldn't put it outdoors unless it was covered, but I can guarantee it will be fine indoors and last for years, and can be used all over the place for different things. They're just nice to have, and a great little gift to give to somebody. So thanks for visiting Mimi's Sketchbook, and I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. Bye.